The Toyota Supra is coming to an end yet again. This generation of the Supra, its production is gonna be over pretty soon. And the only takeaway I have from that is, well, the Supra didn't have any impact. I mean, when before this car came out, when the rumors started going on, everyone was super excited about the Supra. Why? Not because of this car specifically, but because of the previous generation Supra, the car we see in the Fast and the Furious movies in the beginning. And that car was beloved, not just for the movie, but for the fact that that engine was so modifiable, and you could put so capable and durable, you could push out a lot of power from that engine. I mean, that was the thing back then, modifying these cars to push out, what, 1,000 horsepower or something, depending on the tune. That was actually possible. But yeah, because of that, everyone's really excited about the Supra coming out. But the Supra didn't make the impact, in my opinion, that everyone was hoping. And honestly, it's because of, in my opinion, two reasons. One, the car wasn't that powerful. I mean, yes, the look was nice, but even the look, I felt like it was a little too compact. It wasn't a bad looking car, but it was way too much of a compact car. Then there's the engine. Now yes, the Supra has a 6-cylinder engine, but the power figures are just not enough. I mean, what is the Supra actually? Is it a sports car? It's a sports car or a supercar-ish kind of car at a budget. It needed more power, and it didn't have that. It didn't have the look. So overall, it just wasn't able to compete with the cars that we were hoping that would compete with, and that was a problem. Now the second reason why I think the Supra wasn't all that great was because what made this the previous Supra special was the modification and the tuning. Now in that era, that made sense because manufacturers couldn't deliver that kind of couldn't or maybe wouldn't deliver that kind of power because there had to be a lot of work put into these engines to make sure that there weren't any issues. I mean, it's not like an individual modifying their engine. I mean, car manufacturers have to do a lot of R&D, a lot of testing, and that costs a lot of money and takes years to develop. And well, in that kind of a time period, modifications were awesome. I mean, think about it. Every car could be unique and on its own. Each car could have a different horsepower than what it came out with. But this day and age, that's changed. The horsepower thing, it's not really that big of a deal because there are a lot of cars with a lot of horsepower these days. I mean, yes, the tune cars could produce more horsepower, but honestly, people don't care that much about horsepower, in my opinion. It was important back when the horsepower numbers were low, but nowadays, plenty of cars with over 500 horsepower, 600, 700, and that's the hypercars with 1,000 horsepower. I mean, horsepower, it doesn't have the same value it did. I think the whole thing with horsepower was changed when the Bugatti Veyron came out with 1,000 horsepower, and it kind of started a whole new thing. And now you can see plenty of cars, even four-door sedans with 600 horsepower, 500 horsepower. And it doesn't have the same effect when you hear it and think about it as it once did. And that's the problem the Supra had. The engine didn't have that much power to begin with, and modifying it, well, modifications always have some issues. I mean, the engine might not last, there might be issues. Their engines might not be reliable in the long term when they're modified outside the manufacturers by individuals. Even the good ones, we don't know how long they'll last. And when there are plenty of cars that have horsepower, good horsepower and reasonably good handling available out there, the Supra kind of lost its appeal. And I don't know what they could have honestly done. The only thing they could have done was put in a huge engine, but they didn't. But so that was the issue. I mean, yes, there are people who probably modified the new Supra, but it doesn't have the same impact as the old ones. I mean, the old ones have an iconic image in everyone's minds. They have a value to them. We know that these older cars, the great ones, are loved by everyone and they hold a lot of value. But the newer cars, it cannot. So it's understandable that the Supra didn't do as well as everyone was hoping for. Now, I'm sure they're probably gonna bring out a new Supra in the future. Likely to be an electric car, but I hope not. I hope they at least try a hybrid, some sort of hybrid car with 1,000 horsepower. I mean, that would be something. The Supra name still has a lot of value, but the newer ones just isn't it. The old ones still also have value, and they managed to bring back and bring a new Supra in a few years in the future and put in a lot of power. It might actually work, but we'll have to wait and see what the landscape is at that point in time because of the whole EV stuff. So anyway, the Supra's coming to an end, and I don't know if it's that big of a deal anymore.